Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us again for our next session of Getting Up to Speed to keep yourself up to date and empowered with what's happening in our industry. We're going to start the meeting. I see there's still people coming in, but I'm going to start because I know time is precious. So for today's session, I'd like to ask you to join me in welcoming Nomvula Moloko. She's a business strategist, a leader, and an award-winning office professional with over 20 years of experience in office administration. She has a diverse background spanning multinational organizations, state-owned enterprises, and institutions of higher learning. She brings a wealth of expertise in business management, leadership, and training. As a sought-after keynote speaker, mentor, and coach, she has shared her insights with audiences across the continent, and we're honored to have her share her expertise with us today. At OPSA, she's also an OPSA director and also a very good friend. So without further ado, Nomvula, the floor is yours. Or shall we say the screen is yours?
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you all are keeping well in the midst of this weather. What season, guys, are we in? Help me, please, so that we all can agree to what season we are in. I'd like to hear some voices, at least see something on the chats as Dawn is moderating. What season? So we are in 4 seasons, so it's not just me. All right, now that's great. That's great. Let's just get into the presentation. I'd love to see that energy so that we all are in the same room and we get to experience the same joy. Right. Wait, are we all seeing my presentation?
Can see your presentation.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be here. I think by now you all know I'm a very shy person. And so just trying to gather my thoughts and be here and be present. Thank you so much to everybody that signed up for Getting Up to Speed. Dawn has been doing an amazing job. Can I just see an appreciation for Dawn for the amazing work that she's been doing with this project so far? She did a fantastic job at the last one. And I think there was another one as well. So awesome, awesome, awesome. That's awesome. That's great. So I thought today we need to talk about empowerment and leadership, but that is also, I understand, a topic that you also are so much interested in, and you all wanted to delve a little bit into it. And so it could simply be when you think about empowerment and leadership from the position of people who generally have to lead without a title, what does that look like? What would that entail in the day-to-day, as in the heat of the moment, when you have to make decisions and there is no one to either inquire from, or it will be too late for you to get permission? And then you have to think around areas like permission. Is the person whom I'm asking for permission to from well-versed even in the matter for them to give me permission? Will they be able to give me the right tools to empower me to make the right decision? Do I actually know more about the matter than they do, to the point that I actually am equipped to make this call concerning this matter? And I want to believe we are sitting in a room of quite experienced people who have navigated the most trials in terms of their day-to-day running of organizations, because the people in this room run organizations, whether we acknowledge it or not, or whether it is understood in the context of leadership without a title. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but it is a concept not just foreign to this profession and sector and industry. It is a practical and well-known phenomenon all over the world that people have to continuously take decisions, and there is no title, and there are people daily questioning, who are you to make that call? Indeed, who are we to make that call? What qualifies us to make that call, right? And if you have to think about what qualifies you to make that call, then say to me, drop a chat in the chat and then just say, I am qualified. I want to see movement there. I am qualified. I am qualified. I am qualified. Because we have to get that mindset right, that we are qualified to make the decisions that we are making, to lead without titles, our positions, we have authority. We are well versed in our work. We know what we are doing, and therefore we are qualified. So let me see. I am qualified. Are we getting movement done? Are we getting movement? Are the people engaged? They did not
Yes,
just
we
switch
are.
on the
We've got quite a few
presentation
coming up
and
here.
run away.
Patricia, Claire,
Yes, that's how you
Natasha,
keep them.
Sebo, Seti, Sonia,
Thank you
qualified,
so
qualified,
much.
mostly qualified.
Thank you. Definitely, definitely. I love that. I love the qualified people in this room. So let's get on ahead with the rest of the presentation. So these are the 5 topics that I just chose to focus on, and I don't even have the liberty of time to even delve in depth into all of them and how they all look in our day-to-day running. But I've come up with a couple of things that I want to believe would help us navigate. So we will be talking about leading without a title and instructions, self-leadership and types of leadership, leading the leader, power and leadership, and empowered to lead. And I know I am in the right room because these people are powerful and they are empowered to lead. And so I did say to you that it is not a foreign or a new concept, and it's not only applicable to our industry or sector. This is the daily reality of people across every industry, across every sector, across homes, schools, markets, everywhere else. Somebody someday has to lead without a title. I think most of you would be familiar with the book written by Robin Sharma, The Leader Who Had No Title. There is also this one, Leading Without the Title, A Blueprint to Growing into Leadership. That is also another book that I found, and there's quite a lot. I think in the era that we are in, where everybody can wake up every day and write a book with AI, there definitely is not a shortage of books. But can you apply practically what these books are saying? That's what matters the most. Can you apply practically in your industry, in your sector, in your day-to-day running of the organization, these concepts that we are talking about today, and come out on top and actually be lauded and be congratulated and recognized as a leader without anyone questioning whether you have a title or not. So from Robin Sharma, that is what we are seeing, The Leader Who Had No Title, a modern fable on real success in business and in life. That is the book, is the same guy who wrote The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. He speaks about everyone being able to lead, because leadership is not about having a title, it's about making an impact and inspiring others. I definitely know the people in this room make impact and they inspire others. We also employ innovation and mastery. We constantly innovate. That is why we are here at our lunch time, because we are here to learn. We constantly innovate and we strive for mastery in our work. We are authentic. We lead with integrity and we are true to ourselves. We are not about airs and graces, but we are the people you can rely on at a moment of a crossroads to be authentic, to rise to the challenge and lead with integrity. And we have faced the most variety of adversity in getting to where we are. We have had to develop a thick skin. We have had to challenge. We have had to be assertive. We have had to cast away any negative words and any words that seeks to diminish us and diminish who we are and dim our light. So we know that adversity breeds opportunity. The people in this room and the ones that will catch up later definitely see challenges as opportunities for growth and innovation. And that is how we know for a fact that we can lead, we are able, we are capable. And we have had to develop daily habits that lead to both personal and professional growth. We are definitely an industry that requires so much more resilience, routines, growth. Imagine with the advent of AI. I know that when we were in Cape Town in November, we spoke a lot about AI, whether it's a friend or a foe, and we could all agree that we need to embrace it. So our daily habits, where we cultivate personal and professional growth in whatever measure it takes. Whatever measure it takes, whether it's catching a 15 minutes podcast, whether it's quickly reading an article, whether it's as we are typing the minutes, we are assimilating that information, whatever it takes. We are the people that actually almost always get asked, so how does it work? So we've got to be early adopters of learning about different things so that when somebody asks, we don't say, I don't know, but we can actually say, I know how it works. Let me teach you. Let me show you. This is how it works. Are you somebody? Do you see yourself in these key points that Robin Sharma spoke about? Are you an innovator? Do you have mastery over your role, over your tasks? Are you authentic? Do you lead with integrity? I want to see some reactions. Let me see some sharp, 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 sharp. Let me see some sharp, 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 sharp over there. I know. My people are busy. My people, yes, 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 yes. I see you, I see you, I see you. And we know very well that we will rise to the occasion, whatever it takes. Thank you so much. That was Robin Sharma for us. Dr. Wendy Norfleet, who wrote Leading Without the Title, A Blueprint to Growing into Leadership, also covers areas around self-leadership, influence, communication, finding your tribe. I know here there is definitely a tribe. Know your personal return on investment. Personal return on investment. You consider yourself a return on investment and appreciation and recognition. And I love what she says. Remember, leader does not have to be in your title for you to display leadership characteristics. Leader does not have to be in your title for you to display leadership characteristics. Leader does not have to be in your title for you to display leadership characteristics. If you still were waiting for permission to lead, today, everything that was binding you and restraining you from leading, the chains are broken. You can lead without a title. All you have to do is display leadership characteristics. Anybody loves what Dr. Wendy Knowfleet says? Let me see. Sharp, sharp. I loved it. I resonated so much in this. Sharp, sharp. Are we resonating? Are we resonating with what Dr. Wendy Knowfleet said? Yes, yes. Awesome. I love that. I love that. You guys are engaged. We are moving. So let us look a little bit about, talk a little bit about self-leadership, right? Because in order for you to lead others, you yourself must lead yourself because you are practicing with them what you already do, what is innate in you, what you have embraced, what you have grown up to be and to resonate with. So self-leadership then becomes the practice of intentionally influencing your own thinking, behavior, and emotions to achieve your objectives. Your practice of intentionally influencing your own thinking, behavior, emotions to achieve your objectives. Which means leadership is a thought process, a behavior, and an emotional management process. How are you doing with emotional intelligence? How are you doing with your behavior, your attitude? How are you doing with your thought process? Because if you cannot harness those three, it's going to be a challenge for you to lead self and thus lead others. If you cannot lead self, you cannot lead others. So this requires from us an awareness of self, right? Understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, and your motivations. What are your strengths? What is the one thing that you know? This, from the back of my hand, easy to do. What are some of those things? What are your weaknesses? What do you know? When we were in the queue of creation, definitely when I got to the head of the queue, they had run out of this material. And there is nothing wrong with saying these are my weaknesses. These are just things that if you were given a choice, you would easily get out of. But we employ both strengths and weaknesses daily. We master the strengths and we find ways to help us with our weaknesses. And what are our values? Do our values resonate with the institutions, the organizations that we work for and we work with? I'm one person, I'm all for values. If our values do not resonate, I don't even want to carry a lot of conversations with you because we're just going to not agree on a lot of things. Yes? Am I the only one? So what are the values that you hold dear? And what motivates you? What motivates you to get up every day and go to work, to show up authentically and lead with integrity? What causes you to do that? So we've got to be self-aware, right? So think about it. If you're leading self, if you need to be aware of all of this. Once you have mastered, I think it becomes easier then to see them from the other person, to be able to say, I understand their strengths. I understand their weaknesses. Oh, these are the values that they hold dear. These are the things that motivate them. Yes? Also, we will manage ourselves. We will set goals. We will manage our time effectively and we will maintain discipline. Our profession is one of those that requires a lot of discipline. Discipline in whom you chat to, discipline in what you say, discipline in how you conduct yourself, discipline in when you are in rooms, with those above you, your peers, and those that look up to you. How do you conduct yourself? How do you conduct conversations? Because people are looking at you. Some are looking up to you as a leader. Your peers, you are learning leadership from each other. And you are also learning leadership from your executives. But how do you conduct yourself? Do you manage yourself well? Do you manage the conversations that you have? Do you manage the relationships that you get involved in? Some food for thought for us today, right? What is the thing that motivates you? What gets you up in the morning and say, today I am going to show up authentically and I will not retreat until I have achieved what I set out to do? Where is that internal motivation comes from? Where does it come from? Is it the money? Is it the goals? Is it the environment? Do you just love the people? Or it's just a job? And there is nothing wrong even if it's just a job. But at some stage, you're going to have some hard conversation as to beyond this job. What actually motivates me to get up every morning and show up? And we need to be people who reflect a lot. Yeah? Regular reflection on your actions and outcomes to learn and to improve. So that when we receive feedback, we don't always take it personally. We are able to separate the matter from the emotions. We need to reflect. I know this is a group of people that also loves a lot of self-care. When we do self-care, let it not just be external as in, soft life, but can it be also internal? Conversations, hard conversations that need to be had. How are we doing? Am I growing? Am I improving? Am I learning? What do I need to discard? What do I need to keep? What do I need to embrace? What do I need to let go? Self-reflection. So that is the metrics then of self-leadership. We need to be self-aware. We need to manage self. We need to be self-motivated. And we need to embark on self-reflection. Are we still good? Let me see some sharp. Am I being done out by that lunchtime slap? All right, we are still alert and doing well. Thank you. Thank you. So that was the self-leadership, self-management, self-reflection. Let us move on to the types and the styles of leadership. If there is one thing that we definitely are learning a lot about, I think from the 20th of January 2025, it's about leadership and something called executive orders. And I'm stopping there. I am not going beyond that point. We definitely have been seeing a lot of leadership coming across the continents, and it will be interesting to see if one identifies with the type of leadership with the certain personalities. Let's get into it. So we have autocratic leadership, and that's a centralized decision making with little input from the team members. This is effective in crisis situation, right? But you don't have the benefit of creativity as how best to do it, or how can you do it the right way that you have buy-in from the people that are affected by this type of decisions that you are taking. So that's autocratic leadership. Then we have democratic leadership, where we have team members that are involved in the decision making, encourages participation and creativity, but it is time consuming. So in a moment of a crisis, you may not always have democratic leadership. I think we experienced this with a recently postponed budget speech in our parliament. And then there had to be some participation of decision making, back and forth engagements. It took time, but eventually we had the budget speech. Then we have transformational leadership. This inspires and motivates team members to exceed their own expectation. It's all about vision, change, and innovation. I think one of the great leaders that I know in South Africa who does this very well is Professor Bonang Mohale. He's an author of a book, Lift as You Rise. I think he's a professor now at Stellenbosch. He used to lead Shell and Business South Africa. So if you look out for his book, I think you will see how he embraces transformational leadership. Then we have transactional leadership, where we have a system based on rewards and punishment. It's a tit for that. I do this, you do that. If you don't do this, you don't get that. And then that just does not work very well for us, right? So that's very transactional. It's good for short term, but definitely no long-term commitment. So when you look at these types of leadership styles, also be mindful that they may work in certain institutions and certain instances, but for everything that you have to do, also remember for every cause there is an effect and there are consequences. So when you think about a leadership style, think also about how it applies. Think also about what would be the consequences of that leadership, and are you willing to bear the consequences and the cost of that decision when you take it. Servant leadership, this definitely prioritizes the needs of team members and it helps them develop and perform as highly as possible. Here we are building strong relationships and trust. Servant leadership works very well in an institution that is structured. There is a beautiful organizational culture and there is clear direction. But also understand that when there needs to be certain immediate changes, servant leadership may not work because then you need to swap the leadership style to be able to do what needs to be done for the short term and then revert to different models. You may have to mix models or styles at times to achieve what you want to achieve. Then we have this one, I call it hands-off. It's a hands-off type of leadership. You provide minimal direction and you allow team members to make decisions. There's a lot of creativity in it, but there's a lack of direction, especially when you've got people who are new in the institution or in the organization and they are not familiar with certain organizational history, culture, policies, nuances, then this definitely does not work because then there is no direction. People never know what to do, how to do it, whether they should or shouldn't do it. So think about this as we continue with types of styles of leadership. So how do we then apply self-leadership and we adapt our leadership styles to different situations? Set clear goals. What do you want to achieve? And how are you going to achieve that? Simple as that. Set clear goals. Manage your time wisely. Priority, priorities, priorities. If you prioritize well, then you manage your time effectively and you stay on top of your responsibilities. Continuous learning. That's why we are here getting up to speed during our lunch hour. So continuous learning, invest in your personal and professional development to enhance your skills and knowledge. We can never in our entire lifetime overknow anything. In fact, we at times will find ourselves behind because of the varying technologies and the varying level of technological advancement that we are grappling with in these times and seasons. So then when you think about democratic leadership, then that's you being involved in team projects, not just being an island, because no man is an island. Then you're involved in democratic leadership. Then you also are using transformational leadership. There are times where you now have to drive a team, cast the vision and encourage innovation and participation. So also understand that as you are reading about the different leadership types and styles, it's also requiring of you to be equipped in the variety of those models so that you know which one to employ when it is required. In terms of servant leadership, actually our role is mostly a servant leadership kind of model that we employ, right? So that's about our daily default, because we are supporting others, we are harnessing the group. You find that you need to be collecting various information from various departments or sectors. Therefore, you need to start moving along and knowing who to touch or tap in various departments. Who do you need to talk to? Who do you need to press a button to get them moving? That kind of engagement. So you need to know which leadership style you need to engage for which situation. I want to get a little bit into this one, because as we then lead self, then we are more able to lead our leaders, right? And leading a leader is very challenging, depending on the type of leader that you have. You are going to require some strategic thinking. You need to have a very strong communication ethic, and you must be proactive in problem solving. I'm saying we obviously, have to self-lead first efficiently and effectively, so that then we are more equipped to lead the leader. And I'm saying this with the most sensitivity to our differently abled colleagues, that the blind cannot lead the blind. If you can't self-lead, it becomes very difficult for you to lead others. Do you guys resonate with that? Do you resonate with that, team? Let me see some sharp. Let me see some activity. Yes, we resonate. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So how do we influence with authority? When I read this, I was like, we've been influencers. These people found us on the job. We are the real original influencers, because every day you have to influence. Imagine, out of the 10 meeting requests, no, take this meeting, boss. This will be good for our organization. Definitely sit in that one. Definitely talk to this person. You have to continuously influence. And not only do you influence, you also have to motivate your why, right? Why must they take that meeting? Why must they talk to these people? Why must they go to that event? Why? Every day you must find your reasons for the why when you need to talk to your boss. So we've been influencing without authority for the longest of time. Can I see a clap of hands? Can we celebrate ourselves? We've been, yay! We've been. Thank you. So we build trust. We must establish strong foundations with our executives by being reliable, discreet. There comes that word again, that confidentiality, knowing you can be trusted. And there must be consistency in your actions. You can't be like this 4 seasons weather, man. Don't be that person. Don't be this 4 seasons weather. Hot, cold, raining, summer, winter, boots, crop top, all at the same time. No. Let there be consistency in your action. Let us know who you are, what you are known for, what you are good on, whether you deliver or you don't deliver. That becomes very important. Dawn, how am I doing on time? I know it's 31
You're
minutes,
okay.
but
Yeah, you can go for. You've still got at least another 9 minutes to
9
go.
minutes. Awesome. Perfection. Thank you. So let us build trust. Let us communicate clearly. So there we go. That communication becomes so important. Again, we must ensure that our executive understand the context and the implication of our messages, our decisions, why we need them to do certain things and why we don't need them to do certain things, and why must it happen at a certain time and why it can't happen at a certain time. So also that proactive problem solving. And we also need to be relationship builders. We cannot survive without relationships. It's those relationships that we need sponsors, we need mentors, we need people to lobby for us, we need somebody to speak a good word, somebody to say when we bring a project and they say, yes, I'm on it, you've got my yes on this, you've got, yes, you can have the budget, yes, this, yes, that. So we need to be conscious about the relationships that we build. And our relationship building must not be transactional. It must be intentional. It must be authentic. It must be organic. You mustn't just go to people and put on a smile when you want something, because they will tell you, why are you smiling? What do you want? They already know you. They know how you function. They know how you move. So we have to be those people who anticipate needs. We must offer solutions. We must network effectively, and we must understand other people's perspective. It can't always be about us. We always at times have to think and be empathetic and think about other people so that we don't always be the ones who get our way and we don't accommodate others. Now, talking about building relationships and networking effectively, I do know that also there is a good number of introverts in this group. People who will tell you, I'm not going, I'm not doing that, that's not me. And I'm that person as well. Honestly speaking, I'm that person who can hibernate 11.5 months out of the 12 months. But now and then you have to get up and go out and see people. So very important that we show up. You don't have to be buddy with everybody, but you can maintain cordial relationships with people so that they know, I know that person, they check on me once a month or once every 2 months, but you've got to be consistent in your networking. Then that continuous improvement, it is so important. Seek feedback from your peers, seek feedback from the service providers, from stakeholders, seek feedback. And again, when you receive that feedback, separate emotion from matter. Deal with the matter, deal with the facts, and use that feedback to continuously improve your performance. And when they have given you feedback, thank them. Say, I'm going to work on that. Go back after 3 or 6 months. Listen, excuse me. Listen, I've been working on that thing you told me. How am I doing? Am I showing up better? Am I handling it better? Is it improving? Seek feedback until you've got that sorted, and then moving on to the next box, and then move on and work on the next thing. We need to have resilience. We need to stay calm under pressure, and we need to learn from challenges. That hindsight, that insight, that foresight comes from continually meeting challenges and learning the best ways to solve the challenges that come your way. You grow, you are known to be resilient, you are known to be a problem solver, you are known that you can be trusted in the midst of a crisis. Are we still good? Can I see a? That's not the one. I'm looking for this one. I'm looking, that's not the one. KS, I'm looking for this. That's not the one, KS. I'm looking for this one. Don't cram me. Don't put the sharp. I'm looking for this one. Yes. TM got it. Yes, KS. We are on. Thank you. Then let's get to the power and the leadership. So there is positional power, right? You get that from the role or position that you have within the organization. There is personal power. These are your individual attributes, skills, and expertise. Then there is relational power. Now, let me tell you, for 5 cents, relational power is the most dangerous one in the workplace because you don't know who knows whom in the workplace. We can all rock up the same way. You don't know over the weekend, whom do I go and hang out with? Whom do I go and have lunch with? Whom am I cousins with? Who is married to my brother? Whose sister-in-law I went to school with? This is very dangerous in the workplace. You can get fired from the bedroom. You can get fired from the bedroom. And I want you to hear me loud and clear. Simply because you don't know whom you are dealing with in the workplace. So be mindful of conversations, be mindful of chatting, be mindful of saying things carelessly, only to find out, they are related. Because some people hide that information from you, and you will only know about it when it's too late to do anything about it. So let us then see how best we can work around this power dynamics.
Moms, can I interrupt you for a second?
Yes,
We've got 2
ma'am.
minutes left. Is everybody else?
2.
Yeah, is everybody happy with us going on for another 5 minutes or so? We are recording the session, so if you have to leave, but if you'd like to stay, we'd like you to stay on. Okay, cool. Thanks, Norm. Sorry to interrupt.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dee. All right, I need to move on from this one, and then you can read this. I'll share this. Obviously, this is recorded. You will have access to this. So I want to move on to the next one. And there's a reason why I really want to sit on this. So in this room, thank you for the extra time, Dee, and the team. In this room, there are people who definitely have got conscious competence. They know how to do something. For sure. Wake me up at midnight. I know how to do this thing, right? Yeah. So conscious competence involves understanding and knowing how to do something. But it still requires effort and focus to execute it effectively, right? For somebody who has to lead without explicit instructions, this becomes very crucial for you to know, what do you know? What do you not know? What do you need to learn? Right? Those 3 things, they become crucial. So when we look at conscious competence, we're talking about people who know how to do something, but it still requires effort and focus to execute it effectively. So when you look at the 4 stages of conscious competence, we talk about unconscious incompetence. You are not aware of what you do not know. That's what we call blind spots. You are not aware of what you do not know, right? Then you have conscious incompetence. You are aware of what you don't know, and you recognize the need to learn. Then you have conscious competence. You know how to do something, but it needs your concentration and your effort or focus. Then we have unconscious competence. We perform tasks effortlessly without conscious thought. How many of you have driven home and you just realized that you got home? You don't know how you got there. You don't know what you passed on the road. You are not sure what exactly happened, but you just realize you're home. Yeah? So that's unconscious competence. But my focus is on conscious competence, because without the conscious competence, we know how to do something, but there are variables that guide that decision making or that activity that we need to be mindful of. And if we don't do that, we are going to find ourselves having that power to lead taken away from us. So I want us to focus on this conscious competence, so that you know every time you have to make a decision, what are the variables that you need to think about? If your boss is in an emergency and they need to be rescued, what are the variables? What are the policies? What are the ethics? Who needs to make that call? Who needs to be involved? What is the hierarchy of activities, right? What is the hierarchy of activities? And once we can have maximum competence on this and consciousness of thought, we then are empowered to lead without a title fully, because then we can account to say, no, coming to this decision, I thought of X, Y, and Z, and because of previous experience, hindsight, and because of knowing what I know, insight, then I was able to have the foresight to make that call. Are we good with conscious competence? Is it something that excites us? Is it something that we're thinking about? Is it something that we want to focus on and develop it in the various roles that we are in? Yeah? Awesome. Can I have a clap? Can I have a clap? Can I have a clap? Yay! Thank you so much. It was really fun spending lunch with you. I am thoroughly honored, and I hope you learned something from this engagement. And I look forward to hearing your questions and engagement hereafter. Dawn, back to you. Thank you.